Hi, this is Elizabeth Estel, Homeschool Christian Mom, and I'm taking questions today to help you if you are teaching your children at home for the first time. This is your first week doing it, and you're feeling a bit overwhelmed. I've been talking to some moms, and they're like, I didn't even like algebra when I took it, and now I'm having to help my daughter learn it. And you might have thought that maybe the teachers would be able to give some more support, more time on the internet, and they're not able to. Maybe they sent you home with just a packet of papers, and maybe there's some internet support, but there's not as much as you had hoped. So if you have questions today, I'm willing to take them so that we can get you the help you need. So this is free. I'm taking questions, and we can get you going with scheduling and how you're going to manage your recess and your snack time so that you can have a good teaching at home experience until this coronavirus health social distancing thing is over. So if you have any questions, please be sure to type them in. I'm going to be talking a little bit about how to make your child an independent learner, because basically they've been doing what their friends have been doing. The teacher gives them the work, they sit there and do the work. If they have a question, they raise their hand and they can get help immediately. And so at home, there's a different protocol. They may feel more relaxed, so they're wandering around, they're going to find their Legos, they're playing on a video game, they're messaging their friends. So you're going to have to put some things in place so that they know what you're expecting. So it's not unreasonable to expect that once they start a subject, they sit there and without interruption and finish that subject. And it's not unreasonable to say, I want you to have 4 subjects done by lunchtime, and one of those subjects needs to be math. And we say that because research shows that children do better with math problems in the morning. And so we plan on the math either first thing or one of the first subjects, and then we do the other subjects, spelling, writing, whatever you're trying to fit in, history and science. And then we probably finish the day, probably after lunch, with reading and then some more creative things like projects, art class, music practice. And so you have a good schedule and you put that in front of your kids and you say, this is what I'm expecting. I'm expecting you'll start at 8:30, you'll be done by 3. And these are the things I want you to get done today. And if they have extra reading or projects, you put a little time in for those every day. And why are you doing that? You're letting them know what you expect, and you're able to say later, wow, you didn't finish any of these things that I had told you to do. And so this other nice thing that the rest of the family is getting to do, you can't do until these things are finished. You're setting up your expectations, letting them know both positively and negatively what's going to happen, and that's going to move them toward being an independent learner. Now, maybe with a younger child, you have different things like, I want you to hold your pencil correctly, I want you to sit in the chair correctly, I want you to work right along without hitting your brother or sister. And so if I'm on the phone, you're not interrupting me. And so you're setting up very basic behaviors that your child is going to do. Now, if you have difficulty yourself with math, there are a lot of online helps, but you can get lost in the internet just searching, oh, is this the right video, or is this the right video, or is this the right video? So I do recommend, even when you're looking for resources, setting a timer for 5 or 6 minutes. You find the best resource you can in that time period and use that until you find out it is not the best resource for you. But don't waste time continuing to look and look and look, because it can just steal your time away. You're going to do the best for your children. You're going to try to move them forward educationally, but you're not going to be able to take the exact place of what the teachers and the school were doing. Actually, I think you might be doing a better job just because you know your child and you can say, yes, this is how the best way to explain it. This is what we're going to expect. I'm keeping these papers for the school, and then we're moving on. So you might be surprised how well your child does for you, and that's just because you know them best. You will have extra time so you can pursue some of their own interests, which will be really nice to do. So if your child really likes the science project and you're growing green beans in a glass so you can watch the roots, you could plan a whole garden. You could start your tomato plants. This is the right time for that. You want to wait till the soil gets to be over 50 degrees to plant spinach and different things outside that are cold, that do well or okay in the cold. So you're not going to be doing your whole garden now, but you could get the little plants started so that you're ready for when spring comes. And in upstate New York, that's sort of late. We usually don't put too many things in the ground before the end of May, but you could still get some things started, and it would be a good project for your children. There are lots of science things online. There's Art Hub for Kids online if your children like drawing. We had a lot of projects that we did as a family, whether that meant shoveling gravel, putting in drainage, fixing the basement bathroom. So when my husband got home from work, the children would go with him and do those kind of stuff projects as well. And so they had a lot of extra, I guess it would be extracurricular activities with construction and work outside with him. This time period has been unsettling for a lot of people with not knowing what's going to happen. But I think as far as you're teaching your children, you're going to be doing a good job. Just make sure you know what your school district is expecting as far as grading. Are they giving you grading materials? Some parents get really worried if their kids aren't getting 100% on all their projects. But generally, you want your children to be doing 80% or better. The curriculum is going to be bringing the same ideas again and again and again. And so your children get exposed to it, and then it becomes foundational and they can build on it. If you're finding that your children are really not learning something, they're getting really stuck with multiplication and division, there are lots of resources to help you. Like some children do really well with multiplication because they've had step counting, and so they know 3, 3, 3, 3 is 3, 6, 9, 12. So they know that's 3 times 4. But then when you go to do the division, 12 divided by 3, they forget that that's 4 groups of 3. So you may have to go over these things again and again. If you're doing facts, addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division facts, and your child is taking a long time to do it, you might want to just time them, and they're doing the same page every day, the same 100 facts, but you're timing them every day. And then the goal is that they get faster over the period of a week. And so you're just trying to get these foundational truths in so that they can move forward when things get more normal, whatever that's going to mean. If you're having trouble with scheduling like recess and play times, you don't need to feel like that has to be between every subject. It can be between at 10:30 break in the morning, half-hour break after lunch, and then they should be done by 3 o'clock, and then they can get a break outside then so that they can get some fresh air, get rejuvenated, reset. We had a quiet reading time after lunch at our house. That gives me a little bit of quiet, semi-quiet, some quiet, so I can sort of regroup, get ready for the rest of the day, and they could have their quiet reading time. The little ones might fall asleep. The older ones actually read something. And it was also a way for me to promote reading in the household. So I felt that was very important as well, because I want my kids to be good readers and to enjoy reading. Now, there are a lot of free books that are available from the libraries electronically. Some of the libraries are now closed. Some thrift stores are closed. You can still buy books, but some of that reading thing has become a little different. So I don't know if you might have to switch books with another family in your area to have enough books to read. We have a lot of books at our house, so that's not a problem. I just encourage them, hey, have you tried this missionary biography? Have you read the one about the World War II, Greatest Generation? Have you heard about this one, the World War II prison camps? Have we talked about designing a water garden? We have a lot of different variety of books, folklore, folk tales, from all the way from Stephen Kellogg's Pecos Bill to Johnny Appleseed. So just look at what you have, make the most of it. If you have children that aren't readers, I would suggest using the time to read aloud to them, because a lot of times that reading aloud later fosters a love of reading. For some reason, some children have a difficulty with processing, but they love the story. So capitalize on that, whatever it is. So you're going to be doing a little more work, but it's going to lead to great dividends in the future. And I'm happy to have you here in the group. And let's just support one another, ask questions, and we'll get through this great. So even if you ask questions later, watch this on replay, give me a hashtag replay, and we'll try to get your questions answered and see what we can do to get through this together and encourage one another. Thank you for joining me. Bye-bye.